I probably spend most of my time on the guitar, but I do play the banjo as well. I've been in Nashville for about 7 years and have toured on the road with several different country artists, playing piano and guitar and mandolin, or driving the bus, or packing in merch, whatever they'll pay me to do. But I play piano for Craig Morgan and for Josh Grayson, and then the last couple of years I was on the road, I played guitar and mandolin, dobro, and a piano and banjo for Taylor Swift. Eventually, though the Taylor gig was as good a gig as you could ask for, I was offered a writing deal at Sony Publishing here in Nashville. So I retired from the Taylor gig and wrote songs there with actually two of my sisters that had moved to town, Penny and Katie, and we started our own band, and we're doing bluegrass, acoustic country stuff now. We're called the Purple Hulls, which is a type of pea that we grew up raising. They actually put themselves through college selling Purple Hull peas, so we thought that name fit. And also on the side, or if it's not my main job, I spend a lot of my time teaching people how to play guitar and banjo and mandolin on a website I have, banjobenclark.com. Shameless, selfish plug there. But I love teaching people. I love to see people's eyes light up whenever they learn a new lick or learn how to do something that they've always wanted to do, and that's a passion of mine. And I'm happy to do it on a Mcpherson guitar. What I originally wanted to do for a living, I actually went to college to be an entomologist. I am an entomologist, which I can barely pronounce it, but I'll tell you what it is. It's a bug scientist. I studied insects and was actually doing forensic entomology, which is not dead bugs, it's dead people with bugs in them. And I'm a certified death investigator, if you can believe that. I was all geared up to go and dig some bugs out of folks that had had a bad day, and then I picked up the banjo. As far as my musical heroes go, I would say that they really mostly live in the bluegrass world. As far as guitar pickers go, I'd have to say Tony Rice would be my favorite. I spent a lot of time trying to learn his licks. I spent a considerable amount of time on other instruments as well. So Allan Mundy on banjo, and so many great pickers out there. But I was a personal student of Allan Mundy's for 2 years on banjo, so he's influenced me greatly, not just on banjo, but on guitar. I find that his licks come out everywhere I play. One of the funniest stories, I guess, from my musical days would be back when I was around a junior in college, when I was first actually introduced to the banjo. I didn't know anyone who played the instrument. My uncle had an old Fender banjo that he gave me and some picks. I didn't know anyone that played it, never seen anybody up close, so I grabbed the picks and I did exactly what I guess most people would think would happen, and I put the picks on like this. I thought they were supposed to be giant fingernails, and then of course I'd try to play, and the pick would eventually come off. And I thought, man, these guys are geniuses. How are they playing the banjo? And so I went to a bluegrass festival, and I saw a guy there playing on stage, and he looked like he really had it under control. So I caught him backstage after the show, and I said, man, how do you do that? He said, how do you do what? He says, I said, how do you keep your picks on while you play? He says, what are you talking about? I said, well, look, and I put my picks on like I was doing. He goes, come here, son. And he grabbed my picks and he twisted them around. And I said, no way. He says, yeah, just trust me. Go try that out and see how it works. Well, I find out later that was actually a guy named J.D. Crowe, who's probably one of the top 3 most influential banjo players of all time. And as you can imagine how embarrassed I was. About 5 years later, I was on the road playing banjo for Taylor Swift, and we were booked out at, I believe it was the Stagecoach Festival out in California. It's a really big, eclectic outdoor festival there, and I look on the bill, and there's J.D. Crowe playing the same show. And I was at my hotel, and I walked out in the hall, and I saw J.D. walking down the hall. I thought, man, I've got to tell him that story. And I asked him about it, and he actually remembered it. He said he never had a grown man come up and ask him how to wear their banjo picks. But I remember he told me, he says, well, it looks like you got it figured out, which I did. I eventually got him turned around and learned how to pick a little bit. I first saw Mcpherson Guitars when I was actually out on the road with Taylor Swift. we were touring with a band, Darius Rucker Band, and one or two of the guys in that band had these Mcphersons, and initially I thought, man, they look really odd, and they look expensive. But I wonder what kind of guitars they are. And I remember as I played one for the first time backstage on one of our tour stops, I was just blown away, mainly by just the evenness of the tone and its playability. And I'm a flat picker. I do a lot of acoustic, just mic'd music where we're not plugged in, and I loved how the Mcpherson, it seemed like I was a faster player. It seemed like I was a more accurate, more clean player. And being out on the road as a musician, you get offered all kinds of endorsement deals from all kinds of different companies. And my philosophy was, if the instrument that I was being offered couldn't beat the instrument that I was already playing out on the road, then I didn't take it. I don't want to go out there and make a living as a musician playing second-rate instruments. But when I was offered a Mcpherson guitar as an official endorsee, you see where I'm at now. So long story short, all the rest of my instruments, banjo, mandolin, and dobro, are my personal instruments, but I'm playing a Mcpherson. It's my favorite guitar I've ever owned, and I am a happy endorsee.